Before we start this video, I want to say rest in peace to Chuck Norris, and as well as my condolences for the family. Before we start into it, I found out he passed a few days ago, and I want to dive into a video getting to know and understand Chuck Norris. So here we go. Who is the real Chuck Norris? The man behind the meme.
We've all heard the memes before. Chuck Norris ordered a Big Mac at Burger King and got one. Everybody loves Raymond, except Chuck Norris. And Chuck Norris counted to infinity, twice. There are literally thousands of these true facts floating around the internet. Sure, the meme breathed new life into Norris's career, but even without all of his newfound internet fame and glory, Chuck Norris was already a certified badass.
And also, we just gotta also understand and not deny that this man has so many memes. I mean, he has more memes than anybody I know. It's just a fact. Let's keep going.
Today, we're going to explore the most interesting and true badass facts about Chuck Norris. But before we get started, subscribe to our channel, Weird History. Leave a comment and let us know what you think about this video and which historical
I will have the link in the description for this video I'm checking out, and also hit the like button to get the video pushed.
badass you'd like us to cover next.
The like button on this video.
Before we dig into Chuck Norris's life, let's get into how the Chuck Norris fact meme began. It all started as a joke in 2005 by a web developer named Ian Spector, and the joke wasn't originally on Norris, it was on Vin Diesel. After a few months, the meme evolved from teasing the ludicrousness of Vin Diesel's action roles into a tribute of the awesomeness of Chuck Norris. Thanks to the absurd realism of his action crime series Walker, Texas Ranger, the hilariousness of Spector's Chuck Norris facts were an instant internet sensation.
That's a classic TV show, by the way. Classic series. I haven't watched a lot of it because I don't remember a lot as a young kid, but I do remember seeing it come on, and it looked cool. Oh man, we're gonna miss him.
Texas Ranger, the hilariousness of Spector's Chuck Norris facts were an instant internet sensation. Within half a year, Spector's Chuck Norris Facts website was getting 20 million page views a month. Norris's career was in a holding pattern at the time, but the popularity of the meme breathed new life into his career. It even gave him enough clout for CBS to bring back Walker, Texas Ranger for a special television movie in 2005 after it was canceled 4 years earlier. The thing is, even with all the sudden fame the meme brought him, Norris sued Spector. In short, Norris wasn't comfortable with the idea of people possibly taking the joke seriously. Norris's lawsuit alleged that some of the facts were racist, lewd, and portrayed him engaged in illegal activities. Here's what Norris said about his overnight internet celebrity.
People everywhere have asked me, what do you think of all these Chuck Norris facts? My answer is always the same. Some are funny, some are pretty far out, and most are just promoting harmless fun and times of laughter. But be careful if you go searching for Chuck Norris facts on the internet, because some are flat out not appropriate for kids.
Even as him as a human being, he was like really want to make sure that, hey kids, some of these memes are not appropriate for you. And he was very sincere about that. He didn't want his name and his presence of how he carried himself be in that inappropriate way, you know what I'm saying? And I respect that.
Norris eventually dropped the lawsuit. Spector went on to write 5 Chuck Norris fact books based on the meme that started it all. Norris also put out his own book of his own meme titled The Official Chuck Norris Fact Book 101 of Chuck's Favorite Facts and Stories.
You know what? He was like, hey, I see some money in this. I definitely see some money in this. All right, look, hey, let's get the money. Let's get the bag together. I see the plan.
Ian Spector is one of the few men that Chuck Norris wasn't able to take down. Chuck Norris is not without mercy. Chuck Norris was born Carlos Ray Norris in southern Oklahoma on March 10, 1940. Truth be told, he wasn't an extraordinary kid you'd think a Chuck Norris would be. In fact, Norris was a bit subpar all throughout his adolescence. Carlos was non-athletic, painfully shy, and when it came to his studies, he barely slid by. The fact that his frequently unemployed father was a belligerent alcoholic and his family was always financially scraping by didn't help his depression or debilitating introversion. All that set Norris up for a childhood filled with insecurity and low self-esteem. But all that changed for Carlos in 1958. After the 18-year-old graduated high school, he immediately signed up for the United States Air Force as an air policeman. His goal was to get some police training under his belt in preparation for a career in law enforcement. The sudden shift in responsibility gave him the confidence he lacked as a kid, and it pointed him in the direction of the one thing that would change the rest of his life. Air Chuck. Chuck Norris has confidence. While on patrol at Osan Air Base in South Korea, Norris realized that he wasn't able to apprehend rowdy drunks that he encountered while on duty unless he used a weapon. These drunken arrests got him thinking that learning a martial art could be a useful tool while on the job, so he started studying basic judo on the base. After 2 weeks of studying judo, Norris broke his shoulder in a fall on the mat. While recovering from the injury, he discovered a bunch of locals practicing a much more acrobatic form of martial arts. Once he healed, he took up what he found out was the art of Tang Soo Do, a karate-based Korean martial art from the 1930s that focuses on hand strikes, kicks, wrist grabs, and blocks. After close to 15 months of studying 5 hours a day, 7 days a week, Norris earned his first black belt in Tang Soo Do. Not long after he earned that belt, Norris was discharged from his post in South Korea, and he returned to the United States, where he continued to serve as an air policeman at March Air Force Base in California. While he was serving there, he continued to train on his own, as there were no Tang Soo Do schools anywhere at the time. When his fellow soldiers on the base showed an interest in his solo training, the 21-year-old Norris began a karate club on the base. Little did he know, this club would set him on a course for fame, fortune, and a major career change.
That is interesting. I didn't even know that about him.
When Chuck Norris was discharged in
opens his
August
own
1960,
school? What it says? His own chain of martial arts school.
When Chuck Norris was discharged in August 1962, he went to work for Northrop Aviation as a file clerk, but that was just a gig to pay the bills. His real passion was teaching karate at night. After 6 years of working at Northrop during the day, moonlighting as a martial artist at night, and kicking ass in state, national, and international amateur karate tournaments, Norris opened up a chain of martial arts schools. Now what you have to remember is that in 1968, when Norris opened up his studios, America was just getting its first real taste of martial arts with the popularity of Bruce Lee and the Green Hornet. And they were only a year or so away from David Carradine in Kung Fu and Elvis and his karate chopping stage show. Karate was practically a novelty. Naturally, all this American interest in martial arts made Norris something of a karate guru. With his good looks, multiple black belts, and numerous tournament wins, he eventually became the go-to karate teacher to the stars. Some of his bigger celebrity clients include Steve McQueen, Chad McQueen, Bob Barker, the Price is Right guy, Donnie and Marie Osmond, and Priscilla Presley at the behest of the king himself. Of course, it was Steve McQueen who would change the trajectory of Norris's life forever. Chuck Norris Trajectory!
Hey, man, we're gonna keep going.
If you asked Chuck Norris what he planned on doing with the rest of his life in 1969, he'd probably say something about opening up a couple dozen more karate studios, kick ass without mercy in the rest of his future tournaments, and retire from the sport a legend. Norris probably would have been pretty satisfied with that outcome, but thanks to his friend and student Steve McQueen, he became a leading action movie star. It all happened during a training session when McQueen told Norris that he saw potential in him and suggested that he should consider a serious career in movies. Norris had already been in 4 low-budget movies when McQueen suggested the career change, and they were small roles with little or no dialogue. McQueen suggested Norris take acting classes and focus on becoming a leading man. A few years later, Norris starred in the lead role of John David J.D. Dawes in Breaker Breaker, maybe the only movie to ever mash trucker culture, karate, and country music with great success. The movie cost $250,000 to make, and it earned $12 million, which ensured Norris's box office bankability and put him in the same conversation as Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone. While juggling a burgeoning
That is a good flip right there. It's costing you only $200,000, but you made $12 million grossing in it with the movie. Yeah.
Sylvester Stallone. While juggling a burgeoning acting career, operating 32 karate studios, and competing in national and international martial arts tournaments, Chuck Norris somehow found the time to develop his own martial arts system. He called it Chun Kuk Do, or the Universal Way, is based on the Tang Soo Do method he first learned when he was stationed in South Korea. But Norris streamlined everything and added bits and pieces of 12 other martial arts he had studied over the years. In short, Chun Kuk Do emphasizes self-defense, competition, weapons, grappling, and fitness, but it also has there's one thing that no other martial art in the world has. Chun
What's that?
Kuk Do has the Chuck Norris Code of Conduct and Honor.
He got me again. Gosh.
There are close to a couple hundred different styles and distinct groups of martial arts. We lost count after 185 styles. It's hard to say which style is best, but we can verify with 100% certainty that none of those disciplines have what Chuck Norris Chun Kuk Do has. Chun Kuk Do is the only martial art that incorporates Norris's code of honor and rules to live by. These honor codes and rules were written by Norris, and they are as follows. I will develop myself to the maximum of my potential in all ways. I will forget the mistakes of the past and press on to greater achievements. I will continually work at developing love, happiness, and loyalty in my family. I will look for the good in all people and make them feel worthwhile. If I have nothing good to say about a person, I will say nothing.
I'm not gonna lie, these are some really good ones. Some really good rules to follow by. These are some good ones.
Will always be as enthusiastic about the success of others as I am about my own. I will maintain an attitude of open-mindedness. I will maintain respect for those in authority and demonstrate this respect at all times. I will always remain loyal to my God, my country, my family, and my friends. I will remain highly goal-oriented throughout my life because that positive attitude helps my family, my country, and myself. Paraphrase Brad Hamilton, former assistant manager at the All-American Burger, learn 'em, know 'em, live 'em. Chuck Norris is a force of nature.
Oh my gosh.
Chuck Norris has racked up his share of honors and distinctions as a martial artist in his lifetime, but when it comes to black belts, he's earned a staggering amount of these babies. Just a partial list includes a 10th degree black belt in Chun Kuk Do, a 9th degree black belt in Tang Soo Do, a 5th degree black belt in karate, a 3rd degree black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu from the Machado family, a black belt in Judo, and he's the first Westerner to ever hold an 8th degree black belt in Taekwondo. Of course, one of his biggest accomplishments was when he won the professional middleweight karate champion title in 1968, which he held for 6 consecutive years. And we haven't even mentioned that he's in the Black Belt Hall of Fame, the Martial Arts History Museum's Hall of Fame, and the World Karate Union Hall of Fame. You might think all those choreographed fights in Norris's movies make him look like more of a badass than he really is. We're looking at you, Steven Seagal. But Chuck Norris is a legitimate fighter, and he has the goods to back up his belts.
Yeah, he accomplished a lot within the time frame of him being on this earth. As a black belt martial artist, to an actor, to like someone who's aspiring, maybe motivating people with, whether it's writing a book or something he has done. He done a lot.
All those aforementioned black belts and degrees of Chuck Norris weren't honorary. He earned all of them. To back up those belts, all we have to do is look at Norris's professional fighting record of 183 wins, 10 losses, and 2 ties. Sure, he started off his fighting career shaky, but he recovered fast. He was eliminated in his first 2 tournaments he ever entered. He also lost 3 matches at the International Karate Championships, and he took another devastating loss in early 1968 to karate legend Louis Delgado. But that defeat to Delgado would be the final loss of his life. On November 24th, 1968, Norris avenged his defeat to Delgado, and by doing so won the professional middleweight karate championship title, which he subsequently held for 6 consecutive years. From there, Norris went on an unparalleled tear, winning every fight up until he retired in 1974 for an exploding movie career that was taking up all of his time. A lesser fighter would have quit after so many losses early in his career. Of course, as you know by now, quitting isn't on the list of Chuck Norris's code of honor. Seriously, it's literally rule number 2. Chuck Norris abides by his own rule number 2.
It gets me every time I'm not expecting it.
Once Norris started getting more movie roles, he found himself in more fight scenes where the script called for him to kick ass. And he realized something. His snug jeans were preventing him from full leg extension, especially when he was roundhouse kicking bad guys. So Norris collaborated with the Century Martial Arts Supply Company and developed a line of denim called Action Jeans. You could wear them as casual wear, but they were specifically made for stunt fighting and action movies. What made Norris's action jeans different from regular jeans? The hidden gusset, which allowed for greater movement without binding or ripping. Not a bad deal for $20, but don't bother looking for a pair now. Action jeans are no longer being manufactured, and a vintage pair are about as rare and as valuable as a pair of early 70s era Levi Big E's. Is there another action star with the credentials and real-life hands-on badassery who could seriously take Chuck Norris on at his peak in a legitimate fight? But we're interested in what you think about Chuck.
Yeah, it was really cool. A lot of cool different facts. And I could imagine how uncomfortable it is trying to kick somebody with some denim jeans that were not designed for that. Yeah, this guy accomplished a lot of cool stuff, and we're gonna be diving a little bit more cool scenes that he's done, fight scenes and stuff. So if you want to check that out alongside when I do drop it, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss, and see you guys on the next one. Peace.